y'all, welcome back to All Things Dope. My name is Chris Vargas, and today we have some not so dope news. Of course, the news, the drama that's come out here today actually was that the Suicide Squad reviews, actually it's been pouring in today, it's been pouring in from last night, but they haven't been good. Rotten Tomatoes, I think right now has it as a 37, maybe a 33, but in either case it's pretty bad. And it's not looking good for Suicide Squad. It's not looking good for the DCU entirely. The DC Cinematic Universe is not looking good. That begs the question though, are these critics actually worthy of being critics? Because at this point, right, I mean, Batman vs. Superman, don't get me wrong, it definitely had its problems. But after going back and watching the movie multiple times, even the extended edition, I would say is the version that you should watch for sure if you have the opportunity to watch it. But in that regard, if you were watching the extended version, I would give it a solid 7.5. I really felt like they should have spent more time with Superman. There should have been more dialogue between Batman and Superman before they come to blows. And there just wasn't any. So that was the biggest problem for me. Then there's a couple other plot holes there, but they get filled in by the extended version. So the extended version has saved that movie. But the Suicide Squad, I think what ended up happening is DC went to panic mode. After those first reviews came out, after the numbers for the movie just weren't as strong as they wanted them to be, DC gets into panic mode, starts messing with David Ayer's movie. Studios, they have pulled some things, they've made some things better. I know right now Disney is going through a lot of drama right now with their Rogue One. They're trying to get it right. They were about 75% of the way done shooting the movie. They had watched some scenes and just didn't feel like it flowed very well, so they are going back to the drawing board with that movie. So that's something to keep in mind. You know, it's not always a bad thing when studios come in and try to, you know, help just make it a better movie. That's definitely not always a bad thing. But then there are some times where, you know what, it's nice to be able to be free as an artist to do what you need to do. But this thing, Suicide Squad in general, has been rushed out the gate. They gave David Ayer 6 weeks to write this movie. That's not a lot of time. That's 2 months to write a movie, a full-length movie with all these different characters, making them fit, making them flow. So I knew it was going to be an issue getting everything packed up together very well with concept art and everything like that. I mean, everything looks good. The trailer was amazing, but the problem is the reviews are coming in and saying that it doesn't fit that trailer. So we'll see. I mean, I have plans to go watch it tomorrow, opening night, of course. That's what I like to do myself personally. And I will definitely give you guys a heads up on what I think of the movie. But really right now, man, it's not looking very good for DC. I mean, this would be 2 back-to-back kind of so-so movies. And don't get me wrong, I mean, there have been other movies on Rotten Tomatoes that I thought were amazing, but the critics thought it was terrible. Right now, Bad Boys 2, one of my favorite action movies, is at a 23% rating. Why? Only God knows why. That movie's amazing. That's how you drive. That movie really is great. I mean, how can it have a 23% rating on Rotten Tomatoes? Well, it's because these critics don't have the same taste as you and I. So this begs the question. I mean, really, who can we trust? I mean, I know there's a lot of people that do a lot of YouTube reviews, and I myself, I like to watch those reviews and just kind of see how they're feeling out the movie. But even then, you know, there are some times where, you know, there are some people that I really love their reviews on, and I've gone and watched the movie and felt totally different. And the only real person to be able to judge this movie is you. You as a fan of this movie that you are going to watch. I mean, if you've been embedded in DC life, then man, you probably will walk away and you will love this movie. But for somebody who, you know, who's never even heard of Deadshot, or, you know, who's never heard of Croc, or who's never heard of Captain Boomerang, it may seem a little strange. These aren't characters they know, so they have no idea of their mannerisms, how they are supposed to be acting, how are they, you know what I mean? They're just watching it from their perspective, from their view, and that's all you can do as an audience, right? I mean, you can only watch it and take from it what you will. I really hope that the movie is good. I have a lot of hopes for this movie, just because I feel like this should be the movie to turn the tides, but so far it hasn't done it with the critics. So, man, a lot of it is because of the fact that DC, unfortunately, did not take the time to set out these characters, let them be introduced in their solo movies, and then come together. They've kind of just put everybody together in hopes that it would just work out. And from my understanding, they do work out together as a team, but it's the whole mission and everything that they go on that turns the movie on its side. So we'll see. I really feel like if DC can get back to just a smaller scale, if they can go back to just solo movies, and from the Wonder Woman trailer, it looks like that's going to happen, right? Because we'll have a Wonder Woman movie, then we'll have the Justice League. And at that point in time, it makes sense for the Justice League to get together. But again, we'll still have new characters. We'll have Aquaman, we'll have Cyborg, we'll have Flash that we haven't necessarily seen just yet. So hopefully by that point in time, we'll be in a good place. DC will be in a good place when this happens. So let's hope, please God, hope that this movie is good. And if it's not good, then I'll come back and I'll say it. Marvel has had a lot of movies. I mean, they've been in the game a lot longer. They've been in the game since 2008 with Iron Man. And along the way, they've had some movies that have been really good, and they've had some movies that have been so-so. I mean, be honest, do you even remember the bad guy's name in Thor: The Dark World? Or who he even is? No, you don't. Why? Because that movie's terrible. That's not a good movie. It has its moments, but it's not a good movie. It's enjoyable, but not memorable. And that's the way that DC wants to make these movies. They want to make these movies memorable. And so far, they've been enjoyable. With a few scenes being memorable, but just enjoyable. So it's nice in that moment, but beyond that, that's what DC has to work on. They have to work on creating memorable movies, and right now they don't have that. Mainly because they don't have character-based movies just yet. They've had a bunch of spectacle. They need to kind of get away from that. They need to kind of scale that down just a little bit and focus more on these characters. Will they do it? Still up in the air. I'll let you guys know as soon as I know something different. Once I've watched the movie, I will definitely give you a heads up on what I think of it, if it's worth going to, if it's worth watching in IMAX or 3D. I'll let you know all of that once I've gone and I've seen the movie from my own eyes. I'll give you guys my honest review. So anyways, guys, thank you so much for checking me out this week. Peace.